What we face is the return of more virulent forms of racism that would put paid to our desire for post-apartheid freedom. It is against this backdrop that I want to direct my inaugural question to the argument that never before in our history has the importance of the University of Technology been so indispensable to the human condition, not to mention the future of South Africa and the continent more generally. We have, as a specifically designated University of Technology, been tasked with both the process of inventing the instruments of our survival and prosperity, and also the means of holding the human condition in view. Nothing could be more demanding in an age when we face a new future of automated machines, which have given rise to new possibilities of human endurance and produced its own share of uncertainty. In South Africa, we need to take heed of this special responsibility, in part because the past of apartheid was the source of alienation from the technological means of production for millions. For the workers of our country and for the oppressed more generally, technology conjured images of hardship as well as unfreedom. When we say that apartheid was a technology of power, we are referring both to the way it alienated and dominated millions in the country. Allow me to identify 4 educational priorities that I see for a University of Technology. I hope these do not sound too prescriptive. However, they do provide the foundational pillars for debate and discussion amongst the faculty, council, students, and professional staff and workers of this institution. Our first responsibility as a university is to undertake a reappraisal of the meaning of technology in the broader population, to demystify its force while bending its potential to the ideal of post-apartheid freedom. This, we will soon realize, is easier said than done. It will require an education that reaches beyond the confines of our institution, one that is oriented to a nascent public sphere. More than simply talking about the use of technology, we will be asked to educate our people on how technology should be approached to make judgments necessary for a thriving civic life. CUT will have to become a public-facing institution that builds confidence in the attitudes towards technological resources. Our second responsibility is to offer the best teaching for our students in the arts of design and invention. This is not merely an education and speculations about what technology can help us achieve, but in how it reveals our predicament as a species and a planet. The education we offer our students is not merely about the market value of technology, but the process of becoming more human. It is about fostering intellectual inquiry, engaged scholarship, and critical citizenry. Thinking beyond is CUT's motto, and in our pursuit of excellence, we strive to be satisfied with nothing less than what is possible to envision beyond. While the world of automated machines tilts us towards greater speeds, we need to cultivate the habit of thinking and value the multiplicity of perspectives. Consider the example given by the German philosopher Theodor Adorno. He once asked searchingly, at the first signs of the onset of the Nazi final solution, who it was that was designing trains that were more efficient without considering where its cargo was being taken. There's a warning here not to forgo the thought of the human as we embark on the wonders of technological possibilities. Our third responsibility is to ensure that we steer clear of an idea of technology as delivering a static world, one where civil war is an order of the day. We need a technology that is always in motion, that is capable of moving us to a more resources-wise future, in which we learn to preserve our vital resources, as much as we offer to change the circumstances of the most vulnerable and destitute. This requires us to avoid making a fetish of technology. My favorite example is from the ancient story of the Trojan horse, which was deployed to be a war machine, but which the Trojans later turned into a monument with which they became enamored. We need to build concepts of technology that take us away from the scene of war towards re-enchanting the world in which we live. In African folklore, this is the point at which we learn to respect our natural world and to understand that exploiting nature will only make the world more difficult to inhabit. In my former institution, Professor Brian O'Connell, the former Vice Chancellor and Principal, left a legacy where he had challenged the institution to engage in an exercise of sense-making. By this, he meant to ask how can we ensure the development of our people without engaging in the extravagant exploitation of resources on which modern privilege of the few rests. This is truly a challenge once we begin to think about it as an educational project. I believe that the brilliant scholars we have at CUT are capable of helping us out of this quandary that Professor O'Connell posed as a question to frequently reflect on given our current realities as a society and a university community. My fourth and final plea for this university's educational vision is that it pursues an ambition to lead our students to a position of self-sufficiency, but more. While we will endeavor to build entrepreneurial skills, we should be careful that such skills are not simply one to enhance markets. Rather, we should also work towards building technological resources and advance qualifications, for instance, in professional MA and doctoral degrees that will help expand other fields of knowledge, especially in the areas of health, infrastructure development, service delivery, agriculture and manufacturing, and economic sustainability. For this, we need a capable, committed, and visible professoriate to contribute effectively towards this university's educational vision and the renewal of our academic, research, and innovation endeavors. What holds these propositions together is a fast emerging dogma about the supposedly smooth operation between the human and technology. By this, I mean that we often equate the relation between the human and technology as endowed with simplicity and a form of instrumental reason. Coming out of apartheid and several years after its demise, we can now see that South African citizen is precariously wedged between the condition of being human and the promise of technological resources. This has resulted in a dissonance and anxiety that enfolds both our sense of being human and our understanding of the potential uses of technology. An educational institution such as ours is destined to play a bigger role in the future we are building by creating new relations and attitudes to technology. We have a threefold responsibility: to build an institution, human capacity, and technological means. If we hold to these commitments, a future CUT graduate would not simply be a self-serving entrepreneur, but a social entrepreneur, one who enables others, and by enabling others, makes our existence as a free people emancipated from the stranglehold of race, ethnicity, and gender discrimination, and the many other forms of exclusion and subjugation conceivable.